Hi Year 10, hope everybody's keeping well. Many thanks to those of you who sent me your QMAs yesterday. 4 of you did during the day. I've written to your parents, carers, just to remind you, those of you who've not sent it, to get that to me please. It is really, really important that you keep on top of this. I know it's tough working from home, but I do need you to complete this piece of work, get it to me, and then I can give you some feedback. And the 4 I've had, they were really good efforts, so well done to those people. So I thought I'd give you a bit of feedback. Okay, so I'm going to look at the start of the passage, okay? It's about a boy called Pi, and he's stranded at sea on a lifeboat. His only company is a hyena, a zebra, an orangutan, and a Bengal tiger. So not a usual situation by any means. In this extract then, the tiger, bizarrely, it's called Richard Parker, has just killed the hyena, and he's set his sights on the narrator, so in other words he wants to eat the narrator as well. So the first question, we're just asked to look at lines 1 to 7 and to list the 5 things that Richard Parker does in these lines, okay? So it is absolutely just a list. Okay, so let's have a look at those lines 1 to 7 and think about what you could put in. Richard Parker let go and growled, but a quiet growl, private and half-hearted it seemed. He was panting, his tongue hanging from his mouth. He licked his chops. He shook his head. He sniffed the dead hyena. He raised his head high and smelled the air. He placed his forepaws on the bench and lifted himself. His feet were wide apart. The rolling of the boat, though gentle, was visibly not to his liking. He looked at the open seas. He put out a low, mean snarl. He smelled the air again. He slowly turned his head. It turned full round until he was looking straight at me. So the 5 things that Richard Parker does in these lines then, and you get a mark for any of these, okay? So once you've got 5 things, don't waste time doing more, because you won't get any more than 5, but you would have got a mark for any 5 of these. So he growls, he pants, or you could have put his tongue was hanging from his mouth, either of those. He licks his chops, that's his mouth. He shook his head, he sniffed the dead hyena, he looked at the open seas, he put out a low, mean snarl, he smelled the air, and he turned his head, or you could say he looked straight at Pi. So any of those. What you've got to be careful of is that you're not just putting the same point down in 2 different formats. So for example, he turned his head, or he looked straight at Pi. That's kind of the same point. And so is he was panting, or his tongue was hanging from his mouth. Just be careful to separate out 5 different things that the tiger Richard Parker does, okay? And that's number 1.